Step number one, you gotta assemble your gear. Necessities include climbing shoes, chalk, of which I have very little left, and pads, of which I have plenty. If you don't have any pads yet, you can always rent them from a local gear shop, sometimes an REI, or even like a university athletic department. Can't forget that, need the coffee. All right, thanks, man. Next step up is to find some boulders. The McDonald's is optional. Just met a couple of local guys here at the bottom. Told me that it rained over here pretty good last night, so they're running up to check it out and see if it's wet. It's definitely something you got to be mindful of. It's not like the sandstone in Vegas where you can break it super easily, but it could be wet or muddy or slippery, or we'll see. Step number two is to find some boulders. Sometimes easier said than done, but there's a few different ways to do it. Anywhere from a simple Google search to buying a physical guidebook. But personally, I think that the easiest way to get started, at least in the US, is to use Mountain Project. Mountain Project can help you learn more about an area that you found online somewhere else, or even find the nearest boulders to you to go get climbing outside. All right, we found the boulders for Shears Crack. Super classic V3, kind of sketch landing, straight up the face of this tall cubular block. Step three, start on the easiest possible boulder in the area. Even though I want to do Shears Crack and that southeast arete, I'm going to start on this V1 called In the Beginning. Start on a good undercling for the left hand and an all right pinch on the arete for the right hand. Find some feet and stand up. Once you hit the next ledge here, the problem eases up quite a bit, but with fun movement up, good ledges all the way to the top. If you've only got one pad, you just put it in the landing zone, take a couple moves up, take a test drop, and keep going a little higher each time, moving the pad to make sure it stays in the right spot. But if you've got several pads like me, you want to set them up so it's a nice, flat, even landing, unlikely to roll an ankle or twist a knee or something like that when you drop, and ideally Velcroed together so that there's no seams in between as well, which I like to partially have on this one. It's okay, we're warming up slow here, no rush. Pretty fingery outside, you know, for V0s and V1s a lot of times even. And it can be pretty difficult to find the beta that actually makes it feel that grade. So at first it seems like way hard. Even though it's only a V1, opening moves on it are still like too hard for a warm up. So, all right, this is a 1 Plus called Deal Jams. Gets its name from the jam you have to do into this pod. Basically like okay crimps, bad feet, one hard move into a hand jam in the pod, and then top out from there. So, I mean, it's a 1 Plus, but requires a hand jam. Pretty atypical of indoor bouldering. See how it goes. Take your time warming up. It's really easy to hurt yourself pulling on some little bullshit crimp when you have like no feet outside, and certainly easy to do early on when you're not warmed up yet. I think the key on this one is to be warmed up and to go more dynamically. So my plan is to isolate right hand, left foot, and go somewhat dynamically right up into that jam. Okay. Isolate, block off high on the right, set that left foot, go dynamic. Oh, I just like flubbed it. Instead of going straight up for a hand jam, I might just try to take it lower in that little slot and either then like bump in or like cross in or something. Oh, yeah. Wet fire on some sweat there, man. Oh my God. Oh. All right, let's try this again. We got it brushed up, chalk up, give it a one good go. Grades outside are kind of whack. I've got some other videos about that, but I've got no pride when it comes to sending any one particular climb. No send is worth an injury. What? Oh, like finger locking and like all sorts of horrible stuff. This thing was like squeezed in there. We're still warming up, and that was pretty painful, so I'm gonna switch back over to this other V1. Hopefully I'm warmed enough up now to like actually get some moves off the ground and start doing some stuff on it. I didn't do it super well, but it feels a lot better now that I'm warmed up. It's definitely gonna go. Get you another angle over here. All right, let's see if we can send something, huh? There's typically no entrance fees, but the cost to outdoor climbing is time and patience. But I do feel the need to warn you, if you're super psyched in the gym right now, you might just want to keep that rolling for a little bit and not start climbing outside yet, because to be honest, it like totally ruined the gym for me. I shouldn't say that, but I was in love with climbing at the gym in its own right, and once I started climbing outside, the gym just never lived up to it anymore. I feel like it's mostly because of how satisfying the sends are, and that's probably because of how hard you have to work for them, so. Whew. All right, we sent to V1. Well, we almost sent it. Let's keep it together. Suppose. Whoa. Okay. Whoa. Whoa. Morrison's kind of known for being sandbagged, but honestly, V1's gonna feel really hard to you anywhere your first time climbing outside. Happen to be here by myself today. But if you're not an experienced outdoor boulderer, or more importantly, an experienced faller, you might want to make sure you got a couple of spotters with you just to keep you out of harm's way. Without some spotters, if you took a fall somewhere near the top, you could probably take a little tumble. All right, on to Brashears, baby. One of the more classic lines here on the dark side at Morrison. The guy on my way up that I met here, who I was talking about with the rain, said that if I can do the first move, that I should be able to send this thing. Seems like the first move is kind of long into like a thinner piece of the crack up there, so. Dude, Morrison V3 is really no joke, man. This Brashears crack, a classic for a reason, because it's hard. Man, this first move is hard, and there's no easy way to cheat past it. Good left-hand slot here, really good. But the feet, we're having this like totally sideways facing foot, not very good at all. Maybe there's something over here I can use. Outdoor climbing is totally what you make of it. Bouldering especially can be really stressful if you put a lot of pressure on yourself, but when you're out here with views like this, why not just relax and have a nice time and make sure you keep progressing? That's really my approach. I'm really not stressing about ascend, just stress about the progress. A little stretchy on the pecky. See if I can watch that footage back. Seems like I maybe overshot it just a touch, which is good. Means I can like slow it down, make it a little more static, and try to grab more accurately into that slot. Well, the boulders I picked out for the day are proving to be a little too hard for me, at least at the moment, which is a good segue to our next step. I think it's number 6, but that's lower your expectations. You'll have a great time if you come out just having fun, chilling, being outside, finding boulders, trying hard. But if you have expectations to send certain grades, you'll probably come up disappointed. Being outside should be fun, relaxing, enjoyable. It doesn't matter if you're sending, don't put any pressure on any specific session. It's probably my biggest tip over 6 years of climbing. No pressure on any one session. Just take it year over year, decade over decade. That's what's important. Oh, all right. I think that's gonna be it on that one for today, maybe. Good one to come back to. Of course, it's nice if you have some more experienced friends to go out with for the first time, but if not, don't let it stop you. I did my first bouldering with no pads and no friends. So just take it slow and make sure you have a good time and don't worry about sending. Thanks for watching, folks.